Hi everyone, this is Stefan. Today I will reflect on my journey on how I landed my first ever backflip on the garden trampoline. It looks easy, but it's not. Even when I'm looking at my recordings, I feel the adrenaline. For some reason, even watching myself doing a backflip brings back some of the rush. So, where should I begin? I had no experience doing flips until I was 29. That's when I started learning the front flip. Before I was 29, I've never done anything like gymnastics, parkour, or other sports that involve flipping. I'm 6'2" and weigh about 180 pounds. I play competitive soccer since I was 8. That made my legs strong compared to the average person. What got me into attempting flips was people like Miroslav Klose, Aubameyang, Sergio Ramos, and Jamie Vardy. I just thought that these acrobatics looked really cool and there was something very satisfying about it. My first ever flip was the front flip. I first learned the front flip and I got as far as landing it on the grass. I'll make another video about it, so don't forget to subscribe to my channel for that. After my instructor explained the technique, I found myself in a belt hanging from the ceiling. This belt was very useful and I wish I had this when I learned the front flip. It would have probably taken me a lot less time to learn it. In only 2 weeks, I was able to land backflips without assistance. There was no need for a spotter to pull on the rope. My head did not get that close to the ground. The next progression before I attempted to do it by myself was to have someone spot me. In just a few days, I was told I can try it by myself. The very first attempt was very scary. Then I heard that there was a small chance that you could land on your neck. I was concerned that I might damage my neck and I'll never be the same. I just said to myself that I'm strong enough to do it. All I had to do was commit to going backwards. If you commit to it, then nothing can happen to my head and neck. At least that's what my instructor and other people said. So here I was attempting my first ever backflip on the trampoline. My adrenaline level was rising. I was trying to trick myself to get over the fear. The instructor told me that if I don't do it in the next 5 minutes, then I should wait and try again the next day. I held my breath and threw myself backwards. I screamed. My coach asked me not to record it because I might possibly get injured. The moment that I landed on my knees, I said, "Thanks God, I'm alive and injury-free." I attempted it only once that day. Just the fact that I went for it was a big accomplishment. That was something to be happy about. The next day, on the second try, I landed my first ever backflip on the trampoline. I hit the woodwork during my first attempt because I went too far back. Luckily, there was a mat there. Then, the next few days I kept succeeding. One time, I even got 4 in a row. But when I moved to the garden trampoline, everything was different. I didn't get the height and I went backwards too much. The setup was very different from that in a gymnastics gym. I tried it from jumping, but because I was hitting the rim, traveling too far backwards, I decided to do it standing. It just felt safer and I did not have to wear shoes. I set myself a goal that in the next 2 months, I wanted to land one on the garden trampoline without putting my hands down. I was attempting the backflip twice a week. While I was working on my backflip, I also took part in other fitness activities such as a soccer game every week, calisthenics every other day, and long distance running. Each day I was attempting backflips about 30 times. Some days I was more stubborn than others and tried it a few more times. I was thinking that was going to be the day I landed. If I had a good attempt, I would try it again without resting just so I didn't get fearful again. The first 4 days weren't too different from each other. I didn't use my arms. Instead, I was creating the rotation by bringing my legs over my head. Because of this, I was traveling backwards too much. I was getting too close to the edge of the trampoline. Sometimes my head would even make the rotation at a very low point, which increased my fear. It took me a long time to get over my fear. It took me 30 minutes to warm up and another 30 minutes of sideways back handsprings. Sometimes I would even start with pillows. On the 5th day, I noticed that I wasn't traveling backwards as much as I had been before, and I was creating most of the rotation from my upper body using my arms. Another key thing was that when my arms were at the lowest point, I was still looking forwards. Before this, because of the fear, I threw my head up and backwards first. On the 6th day, I got super close. Because of my family was around, I felt a bit distracted. On the 7th day, no one was home, so I was able to focus better. On just my 8th attempt, I landed my first ever backflip on the garden trampoline. Very happy, of course. Now, if I were to make a tutorial about the thing that helped me most, I would say that the most important thing is looking forwards before the takeoff. See where my hands are? At the lowest point, I still look forwards, and also bringing your chest and arms up before landing. Try to create the rotation from your upper body, not just your legs. The rest is just getting over the fear and knowing the movement. If you bring your knees up too fast, you could over-rotate. This happened when I was in the belt. And one more very important thing, do not talk to someone while he or she is in the air attempting the backflip. This is what happened to me. My mom wanted to know how to operate my camera. Luckily, I knew what to do and saved myself. So, this is my journey to getting my first ever backflip on the garden trampoline. Once you get over the fear, it's actually a very fun move to do. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. See you next time. Here are a few more angles, including the one I landed at a trampoline park.